We know the venue for the WTC 2025 final. We also know the dates for it. What we don't know is who the finalists of the WTC final will be. We'll try and answer that question by the end of this video. What we're here to do is tell you what the standings look like right now and what does the historic win for Bangladesh in Pakistan mean, not just for the two nations but also mean for India. Does that have a bearing on India in any which way as far as the standings are concerned? And the big question on everyone's mind, can it indeed be a repeat of the WTC final of the last time around that took place in Oval? Can India be meeting against Australia once again in England for the final of the World Test Championship? We'll try and answer all those questions for you. But first up, let's have a look at the WTC standings as things are right now in Test cricket. Here is what it looks like. India leading the charts right now, as you can see, having played 9 matches, won 6 of them with the highest PCT, that of 68.52%. Who's it at number 2? It's the familiar foe in Australia. Played more matches but lesser percentage points being won by Australia, but very close, 62.50. And as you know, the two teams will be locking on against each other in the Border Gavaskar 5-match test series which is to take place. Look what it's done to Bangladesh, that 2-0 test series win against Pakistan. It's put Pakistan in the 8th spot and they're virtually out of contention. What Pakistan will have to do going forward is win all of the remaining test matches that are left in this WTC cycle. There's 5-6 of those if memory serves me right. They need to be winning all of those to push their PCT, which at present is at 19.05. They're second right from the bottom as we speak. But Bangladesh, while they were 7-8 at the start of this particular test series, look what 2 test wins have done for them. It has pushed them, catapulted them to the 4th position, and with 45.83 points, Bangladesh mathematically are there in the race. However, what is it that they need to do? I'll be telling you about that as well if they want to feature in the final of the World Test Championship, which you know now will take place in London. So let's first talk scenarios and let's start with India. What do India need to do? The equation is rather simple for the Indian cricket team right now. They're left with 10 test matches, 2 to be played against Bangladesh, 3 then the following month against New Zealand, and then of course the 5-match test series between India and Australia. Out of these 10 test matches, it's very simple for India. You win 5. Doesn't matter if you lose the series 5-0 as well against Australia. However, we know for all practical purposes that may not necessarily be the thing. But even then, India should be sealing a place in the final if they are to win 5 out of the remaining 10 test matches that they are to play. But let's move forward and tell you about scenarios of other teams as well. What do Australia now need to do? It's a bit tricky for them because firstly, of the 7 test matches that Australia are left with, sorry about that, of the 7 test matches that they're left with, 5 of them happen to be at home against India. And as history has been as has been the case over the last 2 visits that India have made to Australia, you know, it has ended in India's favor. So Australia on a bit of a slippery turf, I would say a slippery surface right now, because of those 7 matches, 5 of them have to be against India. The remaining 2 will happen against Sri Lanka. At present, we don't know when that series is supposed to happen, but it could very well be a situation in a couple of months that Australia need both those test victories to be able to cement a place in the top 2 of the WTC standings. So Australia, things not really sealed as things stand, and they still need to put the best foot forward in both those test series left for them to be able to secure a place in the final. For India, things look rather comfortable in comparison to some of the other teams. If you want to talk about more teams in contention, let's talk about Bangladesh. There's a lot of interest in Bangladesh right now because they are in the top 4 as we just showed you as well. However, a couple of conditions here for Bangladesh. They need to win at least 4 and draw at least 1 out of the 6 test matches that are left for them. So not a lot of test matches left, a lot of wins that they need as well, but the one thing that they cannot afford is to lose more than 1 test match. That is the one thing Bangladesh really need to be careful of, and this is what it is as far as the remaining series looks like. 2 tests against India, you know, both of them being played here in India. one in Chennai, the other one in Kanpur. 2 against South Africa. Memory serves me right, this is the series that they are hosting, and this is where things become tricky for South Africa. I'll come to that bit in just a while. And then 2 matches against the West Indies. This is what Bangladesh need to do to qualify for the final. Now, who the dark horses over here? Let's talk about the 2 dark horses. The Kiwis, we can't miss out on the Kiwis, because right now, as I showed you, they're third in the standings of the World Test Championship. There you see New Zealand with a perfect 50% right now, and they do very well have the means and matches left as well to overhaul Australia. But what is it that Australia, that the Kiwis now need to do? Of course, they need a certain number of wins as well, but for them as well, also it's going to be tough. 3 test matches that they have to play in India, then 3 they're hosting against England, and then they've got 2 test matches against Sri Lanka. You could expect a favorable result for them in this particular test series, but I wouldn't want to comment on what it is that you can expect in those 3 test matches against England. So well and truly there, New Zealand, you could see a repeat of the first ever WTC final as well, that between India and New Zealand. We'll have to wait and see, but New Zealand well and truly in contention. So are South Africa. Now let's go back and see where South Africa are right now, because people may not be talking about South Africa because they're 6th right now. However, they are not a team that you can dismiss right now, because they do have some favorable test matches as well, or test series lined up as well. Out of these 3 test series, 2 of them happen to be at home. I think the only time that they're traveling is for those 2 test matches against Bangladesh. Now that could be a tricky affair for the Proteas. However, they do remain in contention for a place in the final of the World Test Championship. So let's see, those are some of the scenarios we touched upon as to what is it that each team needs to do to be able to secure a place in the all-important World Test Championship final. India, from the outside, does look like the team that has the easiest road ahead. Some of the other teams definitely have tougher routes that they need to take to be able to secure a place in the final. Let's see how is it that things play out. Let me know your predictions as far as the 2 finalists are concerned. I look forward to your comments.